Hi, thanks for joining me for yoga today. My name is Nancy Marco, and I have a little block in front of me. If you grab a block while I'm talking about our practice, you can stretch your calves. So the calves are connected to the feet. They're also affect the knees and the hip. So by standing in front of a block, just about 1 foot length behind, step forward with 1 foot, put the ball of your foot on the block. Hinge at your hips, lift through your crown, and lean forward until you feel that stretch in the calf. I'm going to do this for about a minute on each side, maybe a couple times on each side. This is going to make a really big difference for your feet, for your knees, and for your hips. So today it's kind of a foggy day out here, which is odd for August. In Colorado. It's very moist. And I just thought I would record a class of all the classic stretches that I love from the head to the toe. So thanks for joining me. Make sure you have some water, um, blocks. This little ball is sweet to have, a blanket if you need it. A strap is always nice. So thinking about all of that, let's switch our feet. And then today, I'm in the midst of adding a Kundalini practice to our practice. I'm using the guidelines from Lynn Rulo, and we will use a mudra and a breath. The practice today corresponds to the third chakra, that solar plexus area, a place where we can view how we're doing with our choices and our personal power. So it's not about saying yes or no, it's about being neutral to say either. It's about being in our power without being a doormat or a bulldozer. This third chakra also corresponds in the Enneagram to point one. Point one is a body center type, so it correlates to this part of the body. And it reminds us or invites us to remember and to own our goodness, to be in integrity and fairness, to take right action over just action itself. It invites us to ponder the divine order that is always unfolding and to expand any narrowing of our perception to include possibilities. So, with that, hopefully, you got enough stretch in your calf. You can do more after class. I invite you to come and sit down on your mat. I'm using the bender ball to place underneath my pelvis, just at the edge. So, what that looks like is just tucking it slightly underneath. If you don't have a ball, you can use a block. Just tuck that underneath. What we're working towards is to roll the pelvis forward so that the spine can stack up nice and tall. I've got my feet in an easy seated position with the left shin in front of the right. If this is not comfortable for you, you can sit on a chair or you can extend one leg out long. That often helps people to feel more stable. So find your seated spot, peel away the flesh, roll that pelvic bowl forward and zip up the spine. Bring your head tall and relax your shoulders down. The mudra is the left hand on the belly and the right hand, the pointer and the middle finger together. The thumb holding down the ring finger and the pinky finger. And this calls for a reach up to the sky at an angle. If that's not comfortable for you, just lay your hand down. We want to not create any tension in the shoulders, the neck, or the face. The breath is to make the mouth into an O and to breathe in and out to the count of two. In, two, out, two, in, two, out, two. What I have found and was suggested by one of the participants in this class named Lynn is to roll your tongue while you're doing this. And that helps to keep the back of the throat moist. So when you're ready, join me in this mudra and this breath for 1 minute. It also invites the eyes to fall hazy or closed for this practice. So set up for success and start when you're ready. Count of two for the inhale, count of two for the exhale. See if you can keep your breath below your hand. So drawing that air down into the belly so the belly expands and contracts. Ponder your goodness. Seek out the goodness in others and the goodness in the world. We release the breath, release the mudra, bring that right hand right over your left, and return your eyes to a hazy stare or closed. Slide your hands down to your belly so that your pinky rests at your pubic bone and your thumb rests at your belly button. We start each practice with a three-centered practice. So right here, we're connecting to the innate instinctual body wisdom. Maybe noticing the thoughts as your hands are draped over your belly, any emotions that come forth with messages to teach you about yourself. Noticing, do you feel a connection with your parts and your pieces? When you bring your attention in and down, so important for yoga. The word yoga means union, union between yourself and your body, your heart, and your mind. Feel your sitting bones on the floor and let your shoulders melt, your elbows become heavy as your crown lifts tall. Allow yourself to surrender, engaged with your breath, a Ujjayi breath in and out through the nostrils, nice and slow. Air caressing the back of your throat. Allow the sensation of serenity in your body. Allow yourself to be right here, right now. Presence in your body, staying in your centering state. Bring your hands to a prayer mudra. Feel the heels, the mounds, and the fingertips touch together. And if you like, bring those thumbs up to your third eye. Not necessary if it's not good for your body. Do take your attention up to that third eye. Curious about this head center of intelligence. Feeling the hands pressing together. Allow the two hemispheres of your mind to do the same, uniting and igniting an integrated mind, making space for consciousness, meaning, and joyful presence throughout our practice. Relax your brow, relax your shoulders. Feel your observer come forth in space between you and your thoughts. Throughout your practice, you can direct your thoughts. You can use understanding to know what you need in any given moment to be a cheerleader for yourself. Using your mind to discern. Don't do too much, don't do too little. And then lowering your hands, laying the left hand over the heart, the right hand over top, taking a moment to just check on any tension in the neck and the shoulders, and letting the attention come down to the space underneath your hands, the space of your heart intelligence, your high heart. Giving time to notice what is at the heart. What do you sense when you land here? Invitation from the Enneagram is to know ourselves, to get to know ourselves, to be curious about why we do what we do, what drives us, what motivates us. For some, there are troubles at the heart. There's a shutdown at the heart. And if that's for you, I invite you to trust me in knowing that underneath any trauma, any training, any hard experiences is unconditional love. And you can invite that love to bubble up from inside of you. You can feel that love from the inside out, healing, awakening, increasing your self-esteem, increasing your knowing. Invite that love to bubble up and ask it what intention you would like to set for your practice today. What quality or virtue would you like to accentuate within yourself, to infuse into your beliefs and your thoughts, into your perceptions and your expressions, into your actions and your reactions? Maybe it's one of the qualities that I talked about in regards to the third chakra, or point one on the wisdom Enneagram symbol. Ready, slowly open your eyes, remove any props that you have, and perhaps grab a block and place it out in front of you. Make sure that left shin now is in front of your body. The right leg can be extended out. Peel away the flesh underneath the sitting bones. Zip up your spine nice and tall. Pull your belly button in, poke your hip creases, and then lay your forearms down on the block. With our left shin in front and our crown reaching tall, our tailbone pressing down, you should feel a slight stretch in that left hip, left glute, second chakra area, the place that we have relationship with ourself. If this is not getting you a stretch, you can always drop your block down. You can always ditch the block, not use it at all. Place your hands on the mat, keep your chin out of your chest, and start to surrender down to the floor. Bowing our heart in humility, keeping our throat open, our mind open, our eyes open. Find your edge, sink into it. So in yoga, we're not forcing, we're not performing, we're not competing, we're explorers in our body. Notice what you notice. Breathe. When you're ready, engage your core. Slowly walk yourself up. Bring your hands behind you. Walk your pinky tips together. Arch your back and lift your gaze. And feel a stretch across your heart by kissing your shoulder blades together, lifting your chin ever so slightly. Take your eyeballs a little bit farther than your eyes can go, like you're looking behind you, even though you can't get there. We're stretching the field of vision to keep that field of vision nice and wide as we age. On your exhale, make your way back down to that forward fold. Don't rush it. Explore it. Exhale into it. Surrender. From here, we're going to walk our hands to the right and stretch through that left hand. We've got to keep that left hip down as we reach with those left fingers. You should feel this stretch up your waist, under your armpit, down your arm. Don't tuck your chin. Keep your head reaching long. Breathe and breathe. Take your left hand to your right knee and lay your right hand on top of it. Keep that left hip planted and turn your shoulders. So we're starting to twist at the waist. Want to really keep this left hip down. If you need more, sweep that right hand up and over, kickstand it behind you, and then deepen the twist, looking over that right shoulder. Drop your shoulders down, and this time stretch your eyeballs to look behind you again a little bit farther than you can actually see. Stretch your eyeballs. We're going to keep this left hand right where it is. That left knee is going to come up. We're going to sweep that right hand on around, grab the opposite knee, then drop the knees, arch the back by pulling the belly button in, dropping the knees down. You're going to find a big stretch across your upper back. Take your time. Notice where your thoughts are. Is it wanting to go faster? See if you can surrender into the stretch and into an inner journey with your body. On your next exhale, release out, switch your shins. Poke your hip crease. Bow forward. Don't assume anything. Make it a fresh journey. It's a new side. It's a right hip that we're stretching. All the props that you need. Every day is a different day. Be an explorer in your body. And bow humbly your heart to Mama Earth. Breathe in through the nostrils, down into the belly, and then back out from the belly, through the back of the throat and out the nostrils. Slow it down. When you're ready to come up, engage your core, slide your hands, and kickstand them behind you again. Pinkies walk towards one another, shoulder blades kiss, and then lift your heart, lift your gaze. Rebreath. Exhale and fold forward. Elongate. When you're ready, walk over to the left and stretch through that right hand, pressing down through the right hip. Breathe 3 slow, long breaths. We're going to walk that right hand to the left knee, left hand on top, root down that right hip and turn. Hold on with a sweep and a kickstand and a stretch of the eyeballs. Drop your shoulders out of your ears and grow your crown as tall as you can. We're going to stretch that upper back again. Right hand stays on left knee. Left hand sweeps around, knees come up, back arches, chin drops down. Open up the back of your heart, the place of the old stories, the old wounds. Take inventory there. Time to readjust your stories at a victim and talk about how anything and everything supported you in some way, even though it might have been traumatic or uncomfortable. Make your way out and lay down on your mat on your left side. Touch your head with your forearm and stack your knees and your toe mounds on top of each other with your thighs parallel with the top of your mat. Take this right hand and roll this right hip back. Pull your belly button deeply to your core and open and close your knees. This little move builds muscle around the hip, in the glutes, helping your hips to stay strong. We're going to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to add on a little stretch for the hip by separating the knees, making circles. Don't let that hip unstack. We're going to go 10, 9, keep pulling the belly button in, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back it up. 10, 9, big circles. 8, 7, engaged core. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10 more clamshells. Stack those toe mounts, stack the knees, roll the hip back, pull the belly button in. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Got that right side all woken up. Let's lay on our backs. Bring your thighs into your belly, hands around your shins. Make a tight little ball, wind removing pose. Relax your shoulders. Rest the back of your head on the mat and feel the opening at your throat, the softness of your face. And then slowly extend that left leg up to the ceiling with a pointed toe and glue your belly button to the mat as you lower slowly that left leg down, waking up your abs. We're going to bring that right knee into the armpit and then take that left hand and grab the bottom of your foot, coax it to you. So you may want to just rock back and forth here, or you may have the flexibility to cradle calf in the crook of your elbow and just give a nice stretch to that right hip, that right glute. Release your shoulders, soften your face, take any stress out between your brow or in your jaw. We're going to come into a spinal twist next, taking the top of this foot, right foot, behind the left thigh, rolling onto the left hip, using the left hand to either hold up or coax down, and then extend that right arm out and melt your shoulder, your elbow, the back of your hand. Turn your gaze to look at that right fingertips resting on the floor. You can deepen the stretch by using this left hand to coax this right knee a little more. But if the right shoulder lifts off the mat, lighten up because you're doing too much. You're missing the twist. If you like a little more, bend at the right elbow, but keep the fingertips laying on the floor so you're making a 90-degree angle at your elbow, coming into a half cactus. And breathe, and breathe, and breathe. Make your way back to a little ball. Nice little tight squeeze. And then shoot that right leg up. Hands around the left shin, point the toe, ignite the core, and lower it down as slow as you can. Slide that left knee into the armpit, grab the bottom of the foot with the right hand. Maybe you rock it back and forth. Maybe you cradle it, hold it to your body, stretch. And breathe, and breathe. Remember where we're going. Tuck that toe behind the thigh, roll onto the right side, extend the left arm, look over it. Make sure this left shoulder is deeply grounded. Lower that left ear to the mat. And then if you like, cactus the arm, keeping the fingertips on the floor, bringing the stretch into the shoulder. We're stretching the spine from the tip of your tailbone up into the occiput. Breathe into it. Make your way out and bring the heels of your feet close to your buttocks. Grab a block or a ball. If you don't have anything, don't worry about it. Place it between your knees. You can always just press your knees together. Walk your fingertips down to your heels. Find the flat spot on the back of your head. Squeeze your knees together. Press your belly button into the floor. We're activating those inner thigh muscles. Breathe and breathe. Keep that engagement going and slowly start to lift your hips up to the ceiling and then lower them down and lift up, squeeze, and lower down. Keep squeezing. And 5, 4, squeeze your buttocks. 3, 2, and 1. Roll back onto your side, ditch the block, and then make your way up to seated. Extend your legs into a moderate V, not too wide. And take a block. You don't have to have one, but it's nice to have it at one of its heights. So low height, medium height, high height. Again, we're going to work the muscles around the hips. This has been a great therapy. I had a torn labrum in my right hip, and this has been healing it. So kickstand your hands behind you. Sit tall through your crown, pull your belly button in, and point your toes. With an engaged core, lift up your right leg and bring it and over for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set up again. Lift up tall. I always fall back when I'm doing it. Other side. Core engaged. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Ditch that block up to the top of your mat and come away. Actually, we need it. Bring that block to the bottom of your mat and lay down on your right side. Going to repeat everything. Remember, toes stacked, knees stacked, left hand rolls the hip back, and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Separate and circle. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back it up. Nice and slow. Explore the circles. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stack the toes, separate the knees. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll onto your back. Come into the little ball. Then shoot the legs up to the ceiling. Drop your hands down. Walk your fingers towards the edge of your mat so you find the flat spot on the back of your head and you can easily press your belly button into the mat. Flex your feet. Lift up your shoulders. So we're using our core. You may be shaking here. You can stay right here, or you can lift your heels towards the ceiling for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back into a little ball. Extend the left leg, right leg comes deeply into the thigh, the belly, sorry. Thigh comes into the belly. We're going to do half happy baby here. Right hand comes to the bottom of the right foot and bring that knee down any amount. You can always do what we did before if this is uncomfortable for you. And breathe and breathe. We're going to bring the bottoms of our feet together next in a cobbler pose, hands around the outer edge, big toes drawn to the belly. Give that inner thigh a nice stretch. And breathe and breathe. Release the right foot. Bring that left hand to the bottom of the left foot. Half happy baby. You can extend that right leg or keep the knee bent, whatever feels good. Cobbler pose. Bring the bottoms of the feet together. Press your belly button down and float your shoulders up. So again, you might feel some shaking in the abs. Shaking is making. Keep your chin out of your throat. You can hold it here or add on. Extend your fingers and pulse. Really working that core for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it down. Drop the feet down. Grab the block. Place it close to your groin. Again, if you don't have a block, just bring your knees together. Doesn't get it as much, but if that's what you've got, that's what you do. Roll your pelvic bowl and squeeze the block Activate those inner thighs, activate your core. Walk your hands down to your heels. Release your upper back. And on your exhale, lift your hips up. Inhale, come down. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, squeeze your booty up and down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Remove the block. Roll to one side, come up to seated. Extend your legs long. Shake them out with kickstand hands behind you. Nice, tall, flat back. Come to still and press out through your heels. Staff pose. So we're lifting through the crown, pressing our hands into the mat. Pinkies reach towards each other. Shoulder blades kiss, and then we press through the heels, so much so that the calves press into the mat and the heels lift off. It's a big calf stretch. Aren't we glad we stretched our calves in the beginning? Breathe and breathe. Exhale, lower those heels down, point the toes, walk forward, hinge at the hips. You can always use blocks here to lay your hands or your forearms over, or you can just let your hands rest down your shins. Keep lifting through the crown. Keep those sitting bones down, those shoulders drawn back, and then slowly flex the feet and see if you can reach towards your feet. Maybe it's only with your mind. And breathe and bow your belly to your thighs and kiss your shoulder blades back. As we come up, you're going to bring that left leg with you. I'm going to peel away the flesh between your belly and your thigh and wrap your left arm around. Roll your crown nice and tall. On your exhale, splay out your knee and rest your ankle either across your ankle, your shin, or right above your knee. Kickstand your hands behind you. Lift your crown and let this left knee lower down. You can always use your hand to coax it, but remember, we're not forcing. Breathe. If this is not enough for you, you can always bring that right foot to the floor. You can stay kickstand. If your chin drops down into your chest, go back. If it's not enough yet, you can bring your hands behind your thigh or around your shin and really open up that hip, open up your throat, open up your mind. Breathe and breathe. Wherever you landed, return to a straight leg. Bring that left foot over to the outside of the right ankle, calf, or thigh. Peel away the flesh. Bring that right elbow around and start to turn your shoulders, but leave your hips square with the front of your mat. It's so important to not hurt your back. If you have more space, you can take this left hand, kickstand it behind you. You can tuck this right elbow and open up 5 fingers. Take your eyeballs and give them a good stretch again. Keep lifting through the crown. Keep pulling your belly button in, and then press out through your right heel and draw 5 toes wide towards you. Lord of the fishes. Breathe and breathe. Make your way out and splay out that left knee again. Maybe bringing it a little higher if it's accessible. Bring that heel up into the hip crease. You can always take a block and rest it underneath your knee if it needs it. You can kickstand your hands and just practice surrendering into this pose, or you can take it a little further and bow, reaching for those right toes. Keep your chin out of your chest and breathe and breathe and breathe. Walk up. We're going to challenge to stretch our thigh by taking this left foot to the outside of the left heel. So if this is a challenge for you, you might need to take a block underneath that right hip to lift you up to make it a little more accessible. Extend your hands and lift through your heart. Feel that stretch. If you're not feeling any stretch, walk your hands back and come down to your forearms. Keep your chin out of your chest and grow through your crown. If you're still not feeling anything, you can lay down on the floor. My knee is starting to lift up, so it tells me I've gone too far. I want that knee on the mat. So I'm going to come back to my forearms. Wherever you are is perfect. Find the goodness in yourself and in your practice. After 3 breaths, make your way up. Let's do it all again on the other side. So find your sitting bones, poke your hip crease, point your feet, bow. You can always, again, use the blocks to lay your hands down to keep that spine long, the chin out of the chest. Once you get there, flex your feet any amount. Reach for your toes with the top of your head. And breathe and breathe. When you're ready, bring that right leg up. Peel away the flesh, wrap the right elbow around, sit up nice and tall. And this pose is great for digestion, for elimination. Left foot is flexed. Exhale that ankle across ankle, shin or thigh. Kickstand the left hand, the right hand, lift through the crown and lower that right knee down. You can always add the little coaxing. If that's not enough, keep adding on. Keep finding your edge. Don't do too much. Don't force your body. Just find that edge that you know you're stretching. Breathe and breathe. And then find your way to Lord of the Fishes, foot on the outside of the opposite thigh. Peel away the flesh, wrap the elbow, sit up nice and tall. Your hips are facing bottom of your feet. Flex that left foot. If you want more, kickstand, tuck, spread, gaze, breathe, and breathe. Make your way out. And either ankle to shin, ankle to thigh, or ankle into the hip crease. You can always add that block. This is a big psoas stretch. Find your edge. Deepen into it, breathe into it. Each breath is inhale awareness, exhale the resistance. Stretch the quad, stack those blocks underneath that left hip if you need it. Explore without assuming this side is the same as the other. And deepen into your pose if that is right for you. After a couple of breaths, come on out and come up on to all fours. Have your blocks handy at the top of your mat. And if you like, grab a drink here if that's needed. Always good to stay hydrated. Coming into your box, we spread 10 fingers wide, knees under hips, toes tucked. Straighten your arms. Flatten across your low back by blossoming your tailbone and growing your crown. And then slowly cow, dropping the belly, kissing the shoulder blades, looking forward. That's your inhale. Uncapped, tuck your tail, arch your back, drop your chin, blow out all the air, and flow. Inhale and exhale, and inhale, and exhale, and inhale, and exhale. Come back to neutral. We're going to exhale up to downward facing dog. So you might want to widen your knees, toes tuck. That's going to make it easier. And then come up onto toes and hands. Pedal your heels, bend your knees, wag your tail. Check your hands to make sure your 10 fingers are spread wide. The goal here, or the journey here, is to get your heels down, your hips up, and your ears in between your upper arms. If you are really tight, wide feet's going to make this easier. This is a big stretch, so breathe into it. You can always have your knees bent. We're working to get them straight. Shake your head. This is an inversion pose, blood rushing to your head, your teeth, your gums, your pineal. Shake out all that head trash. Slowly walk your hands towards your feet, bend your knees, glue your belly to your thigh, and then lift your hips and drop your head. Grab your elbows. Let that blood rush a little bit more to your rosy cheeks. Lift your hips and stretch your hamstrings. Release your hands, make some fists. Inhale as you roll up. Step to the back of your mat. Mountain pose, heel of the foot comes to the inside of the opposite foot, and then pivot around and align the outsides of the feet. Feel how that feels. Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, hips over feet. This is how we need to stand when we're waiting. We're going to wait into that right foot and step forward with the left foot. Can't flat back foot, warrior one. Bend that left knee, square the hips, square the shoulders, sweep up the arms, turn the pinky tips in, lift the heart. Warrior one, it's about facing ourself, our shadow, and our light with neutrality, seeing the goodness. Fine tune your pose, kiss your shoulder blades, lift your heart. Exhale into warrior two. Turn the hips and shoulders to face the side of the mat. Maybe you widen your stance. Shoot lightning bolts out of your arms. Make 90-degree angle under your armpit. Reach forward with that left hand and drop that left elbow down. Reach that right arm up and look up. See if you can bring yourself between two panes of glass. On your exhale, bring that right hand over and sink a little deeper. Breathe and breathe. That right hand's going to drop down to the mat. If it's too far, grab a block, place underneath it, and then sweep that left arm up. Take a twist, look up. Deepen it with a half bind and a deeper twist. Don't let that left knee splay in. Keep extending through your crown. Breathe and breathe. Left hand's going to find the mat and right foot's going to hop forward. So take your time, get it up there, and you're in a forward fold. Bent knees, Belly glued to the thighs, hips lift, grab your elbows, shake your head, Josh. Release, roll up, sweep up, bend your knees, lay your arms, kiss your shoulder blades, open your palms. It's called swan dive. Think about that intention that you set and feel it coming out from the core of your being. And then exhale, hinge at the hips and bow down, forward fold, swan dive. Lift the hips, drop the head. You can grab your elbows or your heels here. Shake your head. And when you're ready, release fist and roll up one vertebra at a time. We'll step back with the left foot. Warrior one, find yours. Square your hips, square your shoulders, reach with your arms, pinky tips in, elbows out, heart lifts. Breathe and breathe. On exhale, warrior two. Turn your hips, don't let that knee splay in. Extend your arms, relax your shoulders, grow your crown. Reach forward. Drop the elbow. Lift the left arm. Look up. Sweep up. Exhale. Left arm long. Sink down. Exhale. Left hand to the mat. Right hand up. Half bind if you like a little more. Exhale. Right hand down to the mat. Step forward with the left foot. Forward fold. We're going to slide in a halfway lift. So bring the upper body parallel with the floor. Extend through the crown, draw the shoulders back, blossom through the buttocks. Left hand's going to come to the outside of the right leg. Right hand's going to sweep up. Look up. Breathe. And breathe. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, drop the belly. Inhale, right hand to the outside, left hand comes up, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Bend the knees and sit down in a chair. Pull your belly button in and lift up through the top of your head. Bring your hands into a prayer mudra. Work those quads. Breathe and breathe. We're going to weight into the left foot. Come up onto the right toes and then step back. Warrior one. Steeple those fingers and bring them up overhead. Exalt. Square your hips, square your shoulders. Exhale, warrior two. Reach back. Half bind. Lift up. Grow tall. Crescent back if it's for you. Breathe and breathe and breathe. Windmill down to the mat. Both hands down. Slide that right leg back. You're on your toes. Lower that right knee for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lift up, flop it forward. So maybe a little, few hops, maybe one step, forward fold. Grab something, release it, roll up, sweep up this time. Bring those hands into steeple and lift the heart. If this is too much for you, you can always bring your hands to your hip creases. Keep your hips over your ankles and find a back bend. Find your way to swan dive. Bend your knees, splay your arms, kiss your shoulder blades, lift your heart, shine your light, and then bow down to the mat. Step back with your left foot. Sweep up into warrior one. Exalt your fingers. Lift your heart. Turn into warrior two. Relax your shoulders. Reach back, half bind, reach up, look up, crescent back. Windmill. Hands to the mat, slide that left knee back, keep that right knee over the ankle, and touch down for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hop it, jump it, skip it forward. Find your chair. Sit down. Prayer hands. Relax your shoulders. Lift your crown. Come up onto the balls of your feet and sink down a little more or not. Breathe and breathe. And drop those heels down. Weight into the right foot. Step back with the left. Bring those exalted fingers overhead. Warrior one. Breathe and breathe. Warrior two. Sink down. Relax. Windmill down. Step it forward. Come into chair. Drop those hands behind you for drinking bird. Come on to the balls of your feet or not. And hold. And breathe. And breathe. And drop the heels down. Hands to prayer. Weight into the left foot. Step back. Exalt. Breathe. Look up. Lift your heart. Open your throat. Open your mind. Warrior two. Release your arms. Sink your hips. Widen your stance. Relax your shoulders. Windmill down. Walk your hands forward and pivot your feet. Walk your hands out in front of you. Lift your hips. Wide leg. Downward facing dog. Beautiful stretch. Breathe. If it feels okay, walk your hands underneath you, drop your head, or walk your hands behind you and drop your head a little bit more. Bigger stretch. Don't do too much. Don't do too little. Take this opportunity to look at the world upside down behind you and invite a widened or expanded perception of things. Always another way to look at things. Wherever your hands were, bring them back underneath you. Walk them to the right. Bend your right knee. Come into skater's pose by keeping that left foot planted. Add on by bringing your hands to prayer and flattening your back. Breathe and breathe. And lower that left hand down. Sweep that right hand up as you straighten that right leg. Extend through the crown. Half bind for a little more. Look up. Lower that right hand down. Walk it over to the left. Bend the left knee and plant the right foot. Come to the prayer hands if you like. Right hand comes to the mat, left leg straightens, left arm comes up, half bind if you like. Breathe and breathe. Lower that left hand down, walk yourself back to the front of your mat and drop your right knee to the mat. Uncurl your right toes, bring your hips forward, stretch. Walk your hands back. Bring your buttocks close to that right heel. Keep your left toes on the mat and extend through the crown of your head. Stretch the top of your left foot. Heel your toes off of the mat. Grab your toes and drop your heels a little more. You can always add blocks here if this is a challenge for you. And breathe and breathe. Lower that left foot down, left hand comes down, hips come forward. We're going to wiggle that left foot, heel and toe it out to the side of the mat. Then replace your hands, slide that right knee back for lizard's pose. You're going to bring your hips and your heart forward. You're going to tuck that left knee into your shoulder and stretch through the right hip. As you gaze forward, any amount, drop your shoulders out of your ears. We're going to splay out that left knee if that's available to you. You don't have to do it. It deepens the stretch. You lower the hips. You can always add blocks under your hands. This is going to make it easier, or you can challenge yourself, make it a little harder, a little bigger stretch. Come down to your forearms. Think about surrendering by engaging with your breath and keeping that physical serenity throughout your practice. We're going to add a twist here, bringing that left hand to the left knee, looking over that left shoulder. Drop your shoulders out of your ears, and if you need more, half bind. There's always add-ons to deepen if you need more. It's not a competition. Breathe and breathe. Drop that left hand down to the mat. Sweep that left leg back. Come down onto your belly in Sphinx pose. Forearms are on the mat, 10 fingers spread wide. Lift up your legs, roll the flesh, tuck the toes together, and float the heart. Draw the shoulders away from the ears and stretch your low back. If that's not enough stretch, slide your hands towards you, straighten your elbows, and float your heart. If that's not enough, come up onto the tops of your feet, come into up dog. Wherever you landed, transfer in to a downward facing dog. Roll your shoulders wide and soften your face. Walk your hands to the right, push your hips to the left, lengthen through that left side. Come back to center, lengthen the spine from tailbone to crown. Walk it over to the left and stretch through the right side. Come back to center, back up into box. Tuck your toes, lift up into dog. Drop your heels, lift your hips. Walk your feet towards your hands, forward fold. Slide up into a halfway lift. Flatten out the body, sag the belly, lift the gaze. Forward fold. Step back with the left foot. Drop the left knee. Uncurl the left toes and bring the hips forward again. You can always have a block under your hand to make this a little easier. We're going to walk our hands back just like we did, keeping the bottom of this foot on the mat, lengthening through the crown and feeling the stretch in the top of our foot. Take the shoulders out of the ears, peel the toes off, and grab the bottom of your foot as you sink your hips down. Release those toes, walk it forward, and come into the lizard. 45-degree angle on that right foot. Hands with 10 fingers spread wide. That left knee is rolled back. Tuck that right thigh into the shoulder, and then bring the heart forward. Open the throat, open the mind. Splay the knee. Lift up or drop down. Explore this part of the pose. Find the twist. Half bind if you like. Find your way out and down in onto your belly. This time, bring your hands on either side of your chest for cobra pose. Lift up your legs, roll the flesh, touch the toe mounds. Draw the shoulders down, float the face over the mat. Press into the tops of your feet and lift your thighs. Jelly your glutes. If you want more, lift your hands, lift your heart. Keep those glutes soft. We're working the low back. And breathe, and breathe. Lower the hands and exhale back in to child's pose, this time with wide knees, big toe mounts touch, hips to heels, devotional arms, peel your fingers and your palms off of the mat and watch your shoulders widen as your armpits wide. Spread 10 fingers wide and stretch your wrists, stretch your fingers. Breathe and breathe. Lower your hands down, slide them towards you. Lengthen through the crown, then lift up this left arm and thread it underneath the right armpit to stretch the shoulder. Press into the right hand. Give it a nice stretch. Engage your core and lift up your right hand. Splay it back. Kiss your shoulder blades together and half bind if you like. Breathe, stretch both shoulders. And breathe. Exhale back, come back hands to the mat for the other side. Lengthen through the crown, sweep the right hand up, thread it underneath and lay the side of the head down. Press into the left hand, roll to the right side of your mat. Deepen the stretch by lifting that left arm up. Trying a half bind. If it's right for you, look up to the ceiling. Breathe. Kiss your shoulder blades. Breathe and breathe. Make your way up. Back to all fours. Bring those knees underneath the hips. Tuck your toes. Undulate cow and count. Come to still. Walk your hands forward. Walk your knees back. Then bring your head forward. Pull your belly button in. Draw your shoulders back. This is modified plank, full plank. Lift the knees, lift the thighs, soften the elbows. Pull the belly button in and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Chaturanga down just a little and hold for another 10, 9. We're working those triceps. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way down. Spread your arms out wide. Turn your head so your left ear is on the mat. Untuck your toes. Melt your ear. Stretch your neck. Release your shoulders. And then bend your right leg. Press your heel to the ceiling and then lift up and down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Draw that right knee to the right elbow and flex the right foot. Lower this right hip down any amount as you melt your ear. Half frog pose. Breathe and breathe. On your next inhale, slide that right hand towards you. Press into that right hand and roll onto your left hip, your big stretch in the left shoulder. If this is too much with your right leg, you can always rest it down. See if you can lift it up with pointed toe. Lots of places to go here. You can lift that right hand. You can bend that right knee, grab the top of your foot, come into a nice bow. Half bow on your side. Breathe and breathe and breathe. Make your way out, roll back onto your belly, turn your head the other way. We're going to do it all on the other side. Relax your shoulders, heavy your ear, bend that left knee, flex that left foot, pulse. 10, 9, working the glutes. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knee comes into elbow, flex the foot and melt it down. Each inhale, build awareness. Each exhale, release resistance. Inhale, exhale. Slide that left hand towards you. Elbow towards the sky, roll on to the right side. Find your pose. Add on. Half bow if that's appropriate for you on your side. Breathe and breathe and breathe. Make your way out. Tuck your toes. Press into your hands and walk back. Lift up your knees and rock and stretch your toes back and forth. If you want to challenge yourself and add a little balance, balance on the balls of your feet. Bring your knees together and your hands in prayer, your crown towards the sky. Breathe and breathe. Wherever you chose to stop, make your way to that forward fold. Feet are aligned, knees are bent, belly touches the thighs, hips lift, grab something. Should be easier. Release your hands, walk out into a downward facing dog. Drop your heels, lift your hips, widen your shoulders. Lower that left heel and reach that right leg up. Square your shoulders. Straighten that left leg any amount and lift those right toes. For more, bend your knee and stack your hip, big hip stretch. Don't do it if it's too much. Breathe and breathe. Float it on down. Other side, right heel goes down, left toes go up. Keep the shoulders square. Straighten the leg if you can. If you want more, twist with a bend, but keep the shoulders square. Breathe and breathe. Maybe shake your head. Dump out any negative, self-defeating thoughts. Float that foot down. Walk your hands to your feet. Make some fists, roll up. Take a minute, say something nice to yourself. And then let's get a drink and do some balance. So we want to stay hydrated for our balance poses. A hard surface underneath you is going to make balance easier. If you're on carpet, just have a sense of humor. Set your mountain. Lift through your crown. Weight into your right foot with a soft knee. We're going to do power pose, star pose. Step out with the left leg. Extend the arms. Tilt slightly to the right and lift up the left leg. Balance. Kiss the shoulder blades. Find a drishti. If you're wiggling, you're a twinkling star. If you fall over, make a wish, come back up. Breathe and breathe. Make your way out. Mountain pose. Ears, shoulders, hips stacked. Step out with the right. Extend the arms. Find your star. You are brilliant. You are magnificent. Breathe and breathe. And come on out. Sit in a chair. Hands to prayer, thumbs to heart. Crown grows tall. Pull your belly button in. Lengthen through your crown and drop your shoulders. Add a twist. Open up if that's for you. Don't do it if it's too much. Breathe and breathe. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chair with your hands. Twist to the other side. Open up if it calls to you. Look up. Don't do it if it's too much. Forward fold. Step your feet hip width apart and 45-degree angle. Bend your knees and maybe take your hands out in a devotional stretch and just lower and lift. Be 1, 2, lower down. Walk your hands towards you. Rock from side to side. 3 is full garland. You can place blocks underneath your buttocks or just bring your hips forward, hands to prayer, crown to the sky. Breathe and breathe. Make your way down to the mat. Grab a drink if you need it. Grab a prop, a block, or a ball. Have it to the side of your mat. Meet me with toes at the bottom of your mat. Balancing on your hips and growing your crown tall. Drop your shoulders down as you grab your hands underneath your knees. Pull your belly button in. And if it feels right, you don't have to do this. Lift up your shins. Lots of add-ons here, so try this. If this is not challenging you, release your hands, straighten your legs, keep the crown tall, hold the belly button deeply to the spine. Wherever you landed, roll down one vertebra at a time until you're a little ball on your mat, rock side to side. Come to still, extend that left leg long, right thigh into the belly. Tuck the toes behind the thigh. Find that twist that we did at the beginning. Melt into it. You're melting that right shoulder, that right ear. Practice the arm if it feels right. Breathe. Imagine you're just wringing out all that energy that you picked up that doesn't support you, that doesn't align with your highest good. Just letting it go. Make your way back into a little ball. And this time, if it feels right, you don't have to do it. Float your shoulders, bring your chin towards your knees. Use your core to hold you up and draw your elbows towards your feet. Exhale, rest down, extend that right leg. Bring that left thigh into the belly. And then find your twist. Tuck your toe, roll onto the right side, extend the left arm, melt the left shoulder, the left ear. Practice the arm. Surrender into the pose. Think about just wringing out, letting go with love and gratitude for all the things you picked up that you don't need anymore. Make your way out with bent knees. Walk your feet wide. If your low back is bothering you, you can place something between your knees and stay here. If you feel okay, you can extend your legs long, flap your feet out, and then extend your arms out. Savasana, it's a pose where we practice presence. So be mindful to not check out, to not go to sleep, to not disassociate, to stay right here, right now, noticing your thoughts, directing them if they need to be directed. Being with your emotions, so no longer denying those emotions, no longer becoming those emotions. Remembering emotions are messengers. They're telling you something about yourself. So when you feel them, be curious, why am I feeling this way? What is motivating? What is triggering? What is this about myself when I'm happy? What is it about myself when I'm sad or depressed or rageful? What have I not dealt with, or what am I need more of? Here you can cover your eyes with an eye pillow or a towel. You can cover your body. You can notice, oh, I need support somewhere, maybe under your knees, under your back, or under your head. Savasana is a time of focusing and being hyper aware of your body, your emotions, your thoughts. Set up for your Savasana and surrender into it. Eyes closed, covered, hazy, or staring at the ceiling. Breath in and out through the nostrils, expanding and contracting the belly. The heart, chest is still. melting your feet, your ankles, your legs, your knees, your shins, your calves, your quads, your hamstrings, your hips, your pelvis, softening your belly, across your upper back and down your arms, heavy your elbows, the back of your hands, melt your fingers. Take a swallow. Rest your tongue at the bottom of your mouth. Make sure your throat is open. You're on the back of your head. And notice any areas of tension in your face. Soften your cheeks, your jaw, between your eyebrows, behind your eyes. I won't be here very long. See if you can find the essence of Savasana, practice of presence, the connection to all three centers. Once you get that centered state, see if you can keep it as you slowly bring your heels to your buttocks. Place something between your knees. If you don't have anything, don't worry, I'll give you another cue in a moment. Take your hands up overhead and take a stretch. Arch your back, squeeze your knees. We're gonna walk our hips to one side. We're gonna roll to the opposite side. So if you had nothing between your knees, take your fist of your top hand and place it between your knees as you roll into fetal pose, a pose we did in our mother's womb when we potentially had memory of our purpose, why we came here, what we meant to share, and the agreements that we made to experience here in life. Fetal pose helps us to find grace. Gazing down at whatever you have between your knees, notice how you just supported your back and your hips. Let that be a reminder to support yourself throughout the day with kind thoughts. Curiosity about what your emotions are telling you about yourself. Free those emotions from blame and victim and defense. Easier said than done. It's a practice. Remember to take kind actions for yourself. Make your reactions supportive and filled with goodness. When you're ready, gently find your way back to a seated pose. And we're going to repeat the Kundalini practice that we started at the beginning. You may sit in a chair again. You may sit in hero's pose. You may sit in lotus pose or just easy seated pose with something underneath your pelvis so that the spine can be tall and the breath can come deeply down through the lungs and into the belly. Place that left hand on the solar plexus and find your mudra with your right hand. Close your eyes, release your shoulders, grow your crown, owe your lips, and curl your tongue. Start when you're ready for 1 minute. Count of 2 on the inhale, count of 2 on the exhale. Chest is soft and belly is expanding and contracting. Thinking of the quality of goodness and how goodness brings us into our power. All goodness gives us permission to say yes or no without guilt or shame, without control, without fear. Body, release that right hand to the solar plexus. Release your breath and bring the breath in and out through the nostrils. Drop your hands down, pinkies at the pubic bone, thumbs at the belly button. Roll your shoulders down and back, be in your body. Bring your hands up to your heart. Feel that unconditional love within. And then bring those hands to prayer. Ignite the high mind. Drop those hands to the heart. The teacher in me honors the teacher that you are for me. Namaste. Thanks so much for practicing with me today. I hope you can join me live sometime on Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday at 10, and on Thursday and Friday at 4:30. And those are all Mountain Time. So thanks for practicing. Bye.